You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Welcome to Veterans Air, the Veterans Hour, your source for news, talk, and uncensored commentary here on the Lone Star Community Radio. I'm your host, Douglas B., and along with my co-host, Dangerous Dan, I'm not in the studio, man. You can listen to us live the first Tuesday of every month on VeteransAir.us or Conroe's very own FM 106.1 and 104.5. As always, we're going to do some housekeeping, let you know how you can get hold of us. You can contact Veterans Air through our website, www.VeteransAir.us, or leave us a message. Better yet, text us on our in-studio Google phone at 936-344-3083. And to the caller who called in about an hour ago, I'm sorry I didn't take your call. I was driving on over here, but I'll give you a call back after the show. We have a lot to talk about today. We've got a lot going in May. It is May. If you weren't paying attention, it is May. We did a whole bunch of things already in May. We did May Day. Did anyone go out and dance around the maypole? I tried to get my wife to do that, but she wouldn't do it with me because she's mean. We also had the American Legion Community Garage Sale on the 4th. I hope that went well. They didn't send me any messages, but I'm assuming it went well. Hope you all went out there. And did everybody go vote? Did everyone go vote on Saturday to vote for this $807 million ISD, Conroe ISDN bond for the schools? I went and voted. There was not many people at the polls. As a matter of fact, there was nobody at the polls. I had to go to 3 different places before I found out where I was supposed to be. But I exercised my rights as an American citizen and my duty as a good community citizen, and I went and voted. But what's happening for the rest of May? First off, Sunday, that's this Sunday, May 12th, is Mother's Day. That's right, it's Mother's Day. You all be nice to your mom. I know that mom's getting older, but remember, this is the woman that taught you how to tie your shoes, use a spoon, and not to pee in your pants. Call your mom and say, I love you. I love you, Mom. Also, coming up in May, on May 27th, is Memorial Day, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And y'all just know that I've got a lot to say about Memorial Day later on in the show. But first, we're going to do some shout-outs, some sick call, and some announcements that are important for the community, so we got to get there. Under sick call, Foy Day. He is a mainstay of the VFW 4709, and he's going through some health issues right now. So I want you all to keep him in your prayers because he does a lot for this community. Foy, you know, if you need anything, you just need to give me a call, and I'll hop right to it. I have some sad news. I want to mention a passing of Jesse Leon Bully Garzi. He's 88 years old of Clute, Texas. Jesse passed away on Tuesday, May 9th, after a battle with cancer. Jesse was born on January 30th, 1931 in San Augustine, Texas. Jesse was a very proud U.S. Army veteran who served in the Korean War. It wasn't a conflict, it was a war. And he was also a National Guard as a reserve officer for 14 years. I never got to meet Jesse, but I do know his daughter, Lynn Marie Garzi. Now, Lynn Marie does a lot of things for the veteran community. She does more than she should for the veterans community. So y'all look her up online on Facebook, Lynn Marie Garzi, and you help her out. Donate to her quilting for veterans. I got some shout-outs. Somebody asked me, what are these shout-outs for? Well, the shout-outs go out to companies and individuals that go out of their way in providing service or help to the veteran communities or providing a service to a special veteran out there. And I got some shout-outs for you. I want to give a shout-out to James with Dell Harris Wrecker Service. You get a big attaboy, James. If you're stranded on the side of the road, I'm telling you, call James. He'll come out and get you with a smile. Yeah, check for his contact info on the webpage if I ever get internet back suddenlink. I also want to give a shout out to JC. She's on the road. She's driving from Florida back to Pepperdine University. JC, you be careful out there on the road. It's a dangerous place. You call if you need anything. I want to give an update to our friend Sailor Jerry. She's still recovering from her auto accident that she had last month. I can't tell you how she feels because she cusses like a sailor, and the FCC just won't have any of that on this show. But there's a big but in there. But I wanted to tell you that Sailor Jerry has released her second album, Screen Doors and Steel Guitars. It comes out May 18th. I've heard some tracks. She shared them with me. It's dynamite. So you go out and you go get that over at iTunes. And Sailor Jerry, take it slow. It takes a while to heal up. I want to give a big thank you, a personal thank you, to veteran Andrew, a.k.a. the Bearded One. The Bearded One came over and he brought some CDB oils for me to try out, and they're fantastic. They really, really help CBD oils. And as we say here on Veterans Air, dude, it's organic. I always have some chatter going on between me and Dan, but Dan's not here today. Dan, I hope you're working and you're not injured. If you're injured, call me, let me know. I'll come take pictures and laugh at you before I give you a helping hand, because that's how we do it in the veteran community. All right. This is the Memorial Day show, so we have to talk about Memorial Day. Excuse me. Memorial Day is traditionally, or has become traditionally, the start of the summer. We'll all have backyard barbecues and days at the beach and this, that, and the other thing. And we seem to forget why we have Memorial Day. Memorial Day goes back a long, long while. Beginning of this country. It used to be known as Remembrance Day. And check out our last year's Memorial Day show for more information on that. But Memorial Day is supposed to be a sacred day, and it is for most veterans. We think about those that we lost. And this year, I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to tell a story. And listen up to this story and see if it rings something inside of you, because it does for me. Let me tell you a story of a man I know. I'm sure this man has a name. Everybody has a name. It could be Robert, Tom, Jimmy. Hell, it could even be Phil. But everybody just calls him Grandpa. Everybody in this small town knows him. Grandpa can fix almost anything. Can of WD-40, Craftsman wrench. And if you need anything, Grandpa's there. If you need your lawn field mowed, Grandpa shows up with his tractor. Times get lean, Grandpa will show up with eggs, a chicken, and a bag of veggies from his garden. And would you please do him a favor, because them damn chickens are laying too much and the garden is producing more than he can use. Grandpa's getting old in the tooth, and I've never seen him out of those beat-up shore boots, jeans, and that beat-to-hell hat that he wears. Always. At his age, Grandpa never thought that he was going to be raising a child again. But here he is, raising his 4-year-old grandson like a boss. Grandpa calls me up one day, asking for a ride to the airport. I arrive early because he's taught me, if you're on time, you're late. He was still getting dressed as I walked in. He was just slipping on his shirt over an airborne tattoo. I've seen the tattoo before. He doesn't talk about it. But like him, it's old and faded, but you still can make out 173rd Airborne. I stop and stare because I've never seen him in a suit before. Shut your hole, you're catching flies, he tells me. These are my traveling clothes. As I pull away from the airport, I wonder where he and his small grandson are going. I was raised better to ask. If Grandpa wanted me to know, Grandpa'd tell me. He boards first with his grandson and settles down into first class. He removes his jacket, rolls up his sleeves, loosens his collar, holds a small grandson in his lap. Others enter and look at him, an old man, long gray hair and a ponytail, small child in his lap. Some stare at him. Some just look on. Others, they nod respectfully when they see his tattoo. The flight attendant comes by, offering drinks and snacks. She asks his grandson, where's he going today? The child answers very excitedly that Grandpa has taken him to see his daddy. The attendant smiles, leaves, comes back, brings milk for the child and strong black coffee for Grandpa. The flight attendant asks if Grandpa's son lives there in Maryland. Grandpa says, no, no. My son is with my men in Virginia. They've got this nice plot of land out there, and someday, God willing, I'd like to settle down there myself. The flight lands, and they get into a taxi. The first stop they make is at the mall in D.C. Grandpa walks along the path, holding the child's hand. They walk up to the wall. The child looks up at Grandpa and asks, "Is this where my daddy is, Grandpa?" There are tears in Grandpa's eyes as he picks up his grandson and holds him tight. He whispers, "No, no, he's not here." A tear rolls down his face. The child in his arm, he kisses the tear from his grandfather's weathered face and says, "There, I made it all better, didn't I?" Yes, yes, child, you did. They get into another taxi and they take another ride. The child stares out the windows. So the taxi rolls through big gates and past perfectly manicured lawns. They get out and they walk along those lawns with their rows upon rows of simple white markers that seem to stretch forever, that seem to stretch as far as your eye can see. They stop at one and stand before it. The child is silent. His grandpa taught him not to interrupt when adults are speaking. Grandpa looks at the headstone, lowers his head and says, "Son, I brought your son today so he can meet his daddy." The boy looks at his grandfather and asks, "Is this where my daddy is?" Grandpa kneels before the boy and says, "Yes, this is where your daddy is. You see, your daddy was a soldier, like I was. He left you to go fight a war because his country said they needed him. Your daddy won't be lonely, though, for he's surrounded by thousands of other heroes. Why, just over that hill there are my friends. They were heroes too. And this place, this is the place that our country lays our heroes to rest." The little boy asks why his daddy had to be a hero. His grandfather thinks for the moment, takes the child's hands in his and says, "Your daddy didn't have to be a hero. He didn't want to be a hero. None of the mommies and daddies here wanted to be heroes either. He just wanted to love you and to stay with you. But sometimes loving and protecting someone requires that daddies and mommies do what they don't want to do." You know what we do when that coyote gets into the hen house, right? Now we hunt him down and so that all the other hens and little chicks can live without worrying about the coyote coming back. The little boy just nods. There's tears in his eyes. Grandpa says, "Well, that's what your daddy did. There were some bad men, and they wanted to hurt good people. And your daddy and a lot of other daddies and mommies, they had to leave to protect their children. Had to protect them from the bad men and those coyotes. Sometimes, when you stand for what is right, when you stand for what is just, there's a big sacrifice to pay." The little boy sniffs mightily and looks deep into his grandfather's eyes. And he says, "Grandpa, when I grow up, I'm going to be like you and Daddy. I'm going to protect you from bad men and coyotes." Grandpa hugs the little boy, says a prayer to God and country. "Please, don't let my grandson be a hero." America, this is the price that some are willing to pay for your life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness that some of people today are taking for granted. On May 27th, this country will observe Memorial Day, the day set aside to remember our fallen and what they stood for, the ideals that they died for. This Memorial Day, I ask you to take a minute from your backyard barbecues and your day at the beach. Why don't you take a minute? Just hug your family, hug your friends. Get on your knees and pray to whatever God that you hold sacred for wisdom and understanding. I want you to pray for wisdom and understanding to know that others died to fulfill the promise of America for you. These men and women, they stood against things some are throwing around like candy at a parade. They stood against racism and bigotry in far-off places like Normandy, Rwanda, the Balkans, Iraq, Afghanistan. They stood for the right to worship God as you want without the fear of persecution and death. They stood for the right to speak your mind against the government. They stood for what it means to be American. America, I'm going to give you a task this Memorial Day. Yes, a task. And I hope that you can overcome what I see you becoming these days, America. I task you to stop bickering. Stop the persecution of your neighbors. Stop being Republican. Stop being Democrats. Stop before you tear this country apart. Memorial Day is a day of remembrance. Stop and remember what it means to be an American. Perhaps you should reread the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, for which these brave men and women cherished, for which these brave men and women gave the last final devotion of their lives to protect. Please, don't let these men and women have died in vain. There's my rant for Memorial Day. I hope you take this a little bit to heart. You stop and you think about what you've been doing as an American. Forget about what you do to honor veterans. We all honor veterans in our own way. I want you to stop this Memorial Day and remember, think of Arlington. Think of the hundreds of thousands of men and women, sons, daughters, brothers, aunts, and uncles that all gave their lives so that America will not vanish from this earth. They stood for something. They stood for this. The United States Constitution, this document, and what it means to be American. The rights and the liberties and the freedoms that we have, they're not granted by our government. They're not granted by another form of government. We are endowed by our Creator with these rights. This document just enumerates them and says, you, as an American, have these rights. Think about that this Memorial Day. What's my time, Dick? Do I have to do news? No? I can do news? Do news? Okay. Dick says we can do news and traffic. Can I do weather? Look outside. It's wet. I'm sorry, Dick. I mess with you, don't I?
Yes, you do.
So are you doing news or am I doing news?
I can do it if you want me to.
Oh, no, I thought we had to do station news.
Oh, I thought you have in the news on your.
Yeah. I did that to screw with you, you know.
Oh man. So what do you want me to do?
Do you want to do I need to do station news?
No.
No, okay, I can do some in the news.
Yeah.
In the news, because we do news and talk show and commentary, I want to talk about the brand new telemental health line, which makes easier for you to get care. Have you all heard about this? All right. They've had this for a while in other parts of the country, but it is brand new here to the Houston area. And they've started out with mental health. Now, if you're a follower of the show, you know that we are staunch supporters of mental health because we lose veterans every day to the demons that they fight. Sometimes it's hard to get out of the house and go find help. Sometimes you're managing by yourself and you just can't make the time to sit at the VA all day. I'm not bashing on the VA, but they've come up with a way now where using technology, my love, that you can call in to the VA, turn on your webcam, talk to a mental health professional. And it's not just mental health, by the way. There's other telemed services that can be performed all through your computer. So you're not sitting at the VA all day. If you haven't heard about this, I encourage you to go call the VA hospital, call your local provider here, whoever your provider is. Mine is Dr. Biscamp over at the clinic. Hey, doc, ask them, hey, am I a right fit for this? I've used it myself from time to time for different things. And let me tell you, it works. It's a heck of a lot better than trying to get an appointment and sitting there. Telemental health from the VA DeBakey. Check it out. Give them a call. See if you're qualified for it. I also want to talk about something that we've talked about last year on the show, but it's still raising its ugly head. The removal of the Confederate statue in Pioneer Park in downtown Dallas. So to refresh your memory, here's what happened. Last year, everybody got together and they, held protests and this, that, and the other thing and said, we need to wipe out the Civil War. We need to wipe out any memory of the Confederacy or any of the generals. We need to take down their statues, destroy their memorials because it's offensive to us. Dallas bowed to that and said, we are going to remove history and we're going to take down this Confederate statue in Pioneer Park that has stood there for decades and decades. Well, the City Council of Dallas, they came up with money, about $500 million, by the way, or was it 500,000? Something around that. They came with the money to remove this memorial, but they can't find a contractor to remove it. So, in the meanwhile, the statue has been desecrated numerous times, vandalized. So the City Council, in their wisdom, decided that they could fix that. We'll just throw a tarp over this Confederate statue and put a chain link fence around it. Out of sight, out of mind. I'm going to have to talk about this, right? I'm going to have to throw my opinion out here. And my opinion is this. Dallas, have you lost your ever-loving mind? Seriously. You bowed to protests and you said, well, since this group of people are protesting, this must be what everybody in Dallas wants. No, I'm sorry. That's not how this government of the people and by the people works. Here's how this government works. You don't like something, you protest, and you get enough people to agree with you that what this is happening is good or what is happening is bad. And then you go to your government and you go, government, I want to redress my grievances with you. And it gets put on a ballot for a vote. And the people decide. Or, more likely, our elected officials decide. We just don't bow to mob rule. That's not how this government works. All right. I'm going to come off my soapbox here. How much time I have? Let me look. Oh, I got all the time in the world. I'm gonna run short. And I apologize to everybody that wants an hour of my stuff. But we're gonna run short today. But that's okay. That's okay. Because I got a whole bunch of announcements for what's happening in May. I actually did research this time and came up with all these great announcements that you guys got to know about. First off, and I put this in chronological order. Did you notice that, Dick, that I actually put them in chronological order?
I was very impressed.
Thank you. I'm currently working off of my phone for my internet provider while I wait for Suddenlink to forgive me my grievances and give me back my internet. So it's difficult for me, but I did this. Coming up, May 8th at 6:30 p.m. over at the VFW 4709, it is VE Day. Victory in Europe Day. It's our annual program. We have this every May where we honor VE Day and the veterans of World War II. It's at 6:30 p.m. Yes, there will be food. At least I'm thinking that there's food. Commander Floyd, there's going to be food, right? Because, I'm not coming if there's no food. I will see you there May 8th. Will I be there May 8th? Yeah, I'll be there May 8th. I'll be there. May 9th at 7:30 a.m., which I will not be there because I don't get out of bed until 7:30 in the morning. But Morning Mingle Poker Run at 7:30 a.m., May 9th, over at Incredible Pizza in Conroe, Loop 336 South. The Conroe Chamber of Commerce is doing this. They have a morning mingle, like every week, I believe. This week on May 9th, what they're going to do is they're going to do like a poker run. For people that are not motorcyclists. Let me explain the concept of a poker run. Is you get on your motorcycle and you drive to one spot and you pick up a card, you drive to another spot, you pick up a card, and so forth and so forth. And at the end, when everybody gets back together, whoever has the biggest hand wins. They're going to do the same thing, but at the pizza parlor. No, you don't get to drive your motorcycle. I asked if I can drive the go-karts around there, and they said no. What you're supposed to do is like network. You're supposed to go talk to people and get a card, and if you get the winning hand, they give you a prize of some sort. I can't do it, because I'm just not a people person. You believe me, right? I'm a people person. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I think Suddenlink can confirm that you are.
If I had a set of brass ones, I'd be talking about my Suddenlink problem, but I'm not going to because I don't have a set of brass ones. Moving right along, May 11th, from 9 p.m. until midnight. This is for all your night owls. Cheyenne, a.k.a. Face, I know you're going to be there. It is the 9 to midnight Waterway Music Festival at the Woodlands Waterway Square. It's going to be cool. So, like, if you're into music, this is the place to be from 9 to midnight down at the Woodlands Waterway. It's their annual music festival. Go ahead and do it. But this one coming up on May 18th is what every Texan wants to be at. May 18th is the 50th anniversary Texas Bash at the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion. That's a mouthful. Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion. May 18th, starting at 7 p.m. We have with us ZZ Top. Yeah! I'm back and I'm nationwide. I want to be there, but I can't. I have other pressing engagements. I'm sure that Billy's going to be upset because Billy likes to come down and hang out with me and jam because I play a mean air guitar. I do, and you should hear me on the desk drums. I'm like, I can do it. Petra hates it because I turn ZZ Top way up and I shake the windows in the house. I think my neighbors should be listening to my music. I'm a good neighbor. Also, on May 18th at 8 a.m., this is for y'all that need a little extra help this month. It's a grocery giveaway at the Ark. Starting at 8 a.m., if you're in need, go down to the Ark Church here in Conroe and get some groceries. It is first come, first served, by the way. May 24th. May 24th is the 2019 Buddy Poppy Drive for the VFW. And you'll see us out all around town at the stores and on the corners and whatnot. We'll be giving out poppies in remembrance of our veterans. It's done by the VFW Post 4709. If you want to help do this, or you have a storefront and you'd like us to come set up at, please contact Commander Floyd over at the VFW 4709. We'd love to be there. May 26th. Now, I do have a friend who did this before. I had a couple of friends who have actually done this. It's the 2019 Kilo 19 Walk to Remember. It is a hell of a long walk, so I obviously not going to do it, but it is a great way to go out, get some exercise, and raise some funds for a good cause. And remember what Kilo 19 is and what it stood for. I know you all know what it is, but if you don't, go on over to the webpage, VeteransAir.us, and you'll find out. It's 8 a.m. at Crystal Beach in Texas. Go online, Kilo 19. You'll find a link how you can sign up and help and walk and do whatever else you got to be doing there. So there's my announcements. I can't believe I did all this in a half hour. I got to slow my speech down. I will take a break and I'll have a sip of my coffee. Dick, I am sorry there are no muffins today.
Well, without Dan, you're without muffins.
That's right. Dangerous Dan the Muffin. What are we going to do when he actually does leave?
Well, the internet has the capability of FaceTiming people. We can put him on.
But we won't have muffins. We can
Well,
replicate.
the nice thing is he doesn't have to wear pants.
That's true.
So we know
That's
Dan
true.
doesn't like to wear pants. So.
That's true. Notice I shaved this morning for this? I did.
It's because we're in HD on YouTube.
We are?
Yeah.
That's right. We're doing YouTube Live. I forgot that. Hey, Facebook. Hey, YouTube. I got to get my mom to do this. My sister's going up to visit my mom this month. Love you, Mom. She's old. And old is cold, by the way. But I'm going to get to... I know, I'm Mr. Technology. My mom can't figure out how to turn on her phone. She's actually going to set up...
Just get one of those creepy Facebook things.
My sister's going to set up one of those creepy Facebook things. So what she has to do is click the little dot. It's Facebook Time or something like that. Facebook Live or something.
Are you talking about the screen?
Yeah.
I see commercials for it and it, like, follows you.
Yeah.
It's really creepy, but they're definitely advertising a certain demographic. And I go, well, there goes that, I guess.
I think, well, that's what I'm talking about. I can't remember what the name is. I think it's Facebook Live or Facebook Follow or something like that. And it could be Alexa. That's for all the people that have actually listened to us on the radio now, and then all their Alexas are going off.
Let's not do that.
Dick told me to do that, people. He did, really. Before the show, he said I should do it. But yeah, that technology is awesome, especially for people that can't get out, that are shut-ins. I mean, this is a great thing. Before, and I did this for my adopted grandmother, Miss Honey, who taught me how to be Texan, by the way. She was Miss Honey was getting up there in years, and she was having difficulty getting around. So I got one of those life alert things, and it does work. And we know it works because she would press it so the good-looking fireman would show up. And I tried that for my mom, but it's really not her thing. So I'm thinking that for people that are shut in, that can't get out of their house, and go meet people and whatnot, they can do this FaceTime thing, and the camera follows you, tracks your face wherever you go. It's pretty cool. I got a similar type thing for the Apex Predator posse. It's called a puppy cam, and it does the same thing. It'll rotate 360 degrees. It'll follow the puppies wherever they go in the house. It's pretty cool. Tanya keeps turning it off, but I think it's cool. We got to do it. We got to do our shout out to our sponsor before I forget. I'm gonna let me see if I can do my dance voice. Let me give you a shout out to our show sponsor before I forget. Veterans Air is made possible by the unwavering support of East Meets West Productions, a full-service business and marketing consulting, helping vets start and fund their businesses for 25 years. For more information, call 361-904-0044 and tell them that you heard it here at Veterans Air. That's pretty good announcer voice, isn't it? Maybe I should take over a show or something here. I can do Lone Star in the mornings. I listen to your show now that I have a new car with a radio, by the way, Dick.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, now I can now I can actually pick up our radio station. It's pretty cool. Where am I at? 136. I'm sorry, Dick. Am I in trouble?
No, not at all. You had a really good message today. It doesn't matter how long it is. It was a good message.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I actually sit down and think about these things.
We know.
I'm usually
You look like one of those thinkers.
I'm like an onion, Dick. I have many layers.
Yeah.
Many layers. All right, well, you know what? That's okay, because we're going to do the I'm Going Anyway as our closing song today, which is kind of long. So that's pretty good. So that's going to wrap up our show. Sorry it's so short today. It's because I don't have Dan to stop me from rambling on. But I want you to remember to tune in June 4th at 1 p.m. because we're going to have live in the studio the long-awaited Tony and Cheryl from the Legal Connection. Now, I've been promising to have them on for months, but something always gets in the way, yada, yada. It's all my fault, not them. It's all me. The Legal Connection is on every Tuesday, and it's on actually before this show. The legal ladies they're going to come in and they're going to talk to us about some changes that have happened here recently in Texas that affects surviving spouses for when a veteran dies. So we're going to talk about death. We're going to talk about wills. We're going to talk about what you, as a surviving spouse, need to be aware of, because there are changes. And that is June 4th at 1 p.m. Hopefully, I'll have internet before then and can update the webpage with it. Well, that's about it for now. I'm going to leave you with this awesome song by Sailor Jerry. It's called "I'm Going Anyway." You can download it from iTunes. You can go over to sailorjerrymusic.com and check it out. But it's a great song, and it fits perfectly with our Memorial Day message. So while we're listening to it, let us remember our brothers and sisters in uniform that today are standing in harm's way to stand for our freedoms and our liberties. If you're wearing the uniform, I want to say to you, thank you. I want to say, I'm proud of you. And until next month, stay vigilant and stay safe.
My old man wasn't happy when I raised my hand and swore to protect and serve this country when the devil was at her door. But Mama wasn't worried because she saw the fight in me. She said, send the ones who are unafraid to make damn sure that we're free. If it's for my country, if it's for my town, it might be hell or fire raining down. I'm going anyway. I know the risk I'm taking. We may not make it home with my